Hello, my name's Seth Gardner and I'm with Odessa College, and today we're going to be talking about musculoskeletal disorders and truck driving. Interesting, out of the 3.5 million truck drivers in the United States, this profession right here is the one you're most likely to get killed in. But we're not talking about fatalities today, we're talking about injuries. Truck driving, although it doesn't look like it, is the third highest profession when it comes to lost time work and MSDs. What are MSDs? Let's take a look. What is an MSD? MSD, or musculoskeletal disorder, is a disorder or injury that affects the human body's ability to move. That's a good way to put it. Anything that affects movement of the human body, and that could be injuries or disorders to muscles, to tendons, to ligaments, to skeletal structures, to the nervous system, anything that affects the human body's ability to move is an MSD. Some common MSDs that you possibly could have heard of are carpal tunnel syndrome, tennis elbow. Obviously, back injuries are a very large MSD, and they account for a huge amount of lost work time and lost productivity in the American workforce, specifically so in truck driving. In 2014, there were nearly 55,700 reported injuries with truck drivers that had some kind of MSD related to it. And they can be long-term and long-lasting. Of those 55,700, 20% of those had lost time in excess of 1 month. So we're talking, with back injuries, the possibility of a 6-month, 1 year, or even lifelong condition becoming a severe impediment to that employee, not to mention the workers' comp claims, the lost productivity, the negative effect on the bottom line to the company. Those are significant costs that we all pay. Operating a truck is a great profession. A lot of people make a wonderful living and support their families and themselves by doing so. The cab of a tractor trailer is a great example of ergonomic setup. Typically, the controls, steering wheel, the shifter, and the seat are set up for those of average size, which means that if you're of average size, you're going to be well protected, well supported, and be able to operate the tractor trailer in a comfortable, non-stress manner. However, if you are taller than normal, if you are shorter than normal, if you are heavier than normal, then you're going to run into some issues. As a truck driver, you face a lot of different hazards, and one of those hazards involves driving for a long period of time, which is what truck drivers do. When you drive for a long period of time, there's a lot of different things that can be affected. You could have back and neck issues. Cramps could appear because you're in a static position and holding a static posture the entire time. Pressure points can develop both on your buttocks, on your back, and on your legs from sitting for so long, and obviously poor circulation. The back obviously will take the brunt of the truck and the whole body vibration, as the seated truck driver is forced to sit and drive for several hours at a time. Now, without proper lumbar support and without a good working seat, the truck driver can face long-term issues. Having to shift the vehicle repeatedly over and over hundreds of thousands of miles, over thousands and thousands of hours, causes stress on the arm, causes stress on the upper arm, and specifically causes a lot of stress into the shoulder. Statistics show that shoulder injuries, including rotator cuff and other strains and sprains, are most often reported by truck drivers. This motion of having to shift trucks will cause that injury. Now, a properly supported seat is one of the ways that you can avoid that. proper setup of the cab is the most important part of preventing MSDs for truck drivers. Having a steering wheel that is within normal range, having a seat that is supportive and allows the truck driver to fully operate the controls without overreaching is of utmost importance. These are key prevention areas. Okay. Whole body vibration is one of those ones that truck drivers face that can be severely debilitating. With whole body vibration caused by bumps in the road, operating a large truck, driving it for 12 hours a day, stuff that you do, but maybe not for 12 hours a day in a giant 90,000 pound truck, right? All that prolonged exposure is going to do a couple things to a truck driver. They're going to cause their back and their body to become fatigued, and doing that puts the back at a severe risk for injury, as those muscles in the lower back and in the core are not used, and the spine continues to take the pounding of the road. Even with a good seat, that driver could face very long-term MSD development and could possibly lose a lot of time from work. Truck drivers are not just at risk when they operate the vehicle when they drive. They also face a significant amount of risks when they have to operate the machinery that's associated with it. Behind me we have what's called a vacuum trailer. This trailer is used to transport liquids. Exclusively, well, not exclusively, but mostly used in the oil field. We can move mud and water around using a vacuum system. In order to do that, we've got to use hoses. Now these hoses haul water, they haul mud, and they range anywhere from 10 to 30 feet on average. These hoses can weigh somewhere between 15 to about 75 pounds. The movement of this hose and the hookup of it will cause various issues in the truck driver. You'll have to bend over, you'll have to pick it up, you'll have to move it. All these things place the body at risk for material handling issues, such as back injuries, shoulder injuries, even slip and trip that can cause long-term damages. What can drivers do to help protect themselves against the development of MSDs? First and foremost, the most important thing they can do is keep their seat and wheel adjusted properly. By putting their bodies in the correct position, they can then protect their bodies from getting out of position. They can stay fit and active, and if you remember from MSDs, this is a very large part of prevention and mitigation of the development of MSDs. Is individuals that are fit and active outside of their work life tend to have a lot better chance of handling the stresses that are shown to them in their work life that develops MSDs. Obviously with manual metering, we looked at that a little bit earlier, having to move different things like pallets and hoses, using manual metering aids like forklifts is a good way to help prevent development of injury. And last but not least, always using proper lifting methods. Truck drivers, as we talked about, tend to be overweight on average. Therefore, they put a lot of pressure on their lower back. And by bending at the knees, lifting straight, keeping things in the power zone, and not twisting, the prevention of back injuries and back stresses and development of long-term or even short-term MSDs will be mitigated in an effective manner. Thank you.